From the Swedish Wolf looking forward to putting an end to the Nigerian nightmare, to Dana White being a little iffy about the whole showdown, here is how Khamzat Chimaev responded to Kamaru Usman's call-out. Spoiler alert, looks like Boers is looking forward to retiring Kamaru Usman. And yeah, I know, calling out a guy no one's ready to fight doesn't sound like a great idea, especially when you're in a weird patch of your career. But Usman seems certain because while talking to ESPN, he said he wanted Boers as his next opponent and was just having fun with the whole thing because what else could be better than a Khamzat fight? I mean, I kinda agree with him. This may just be the biggest welterweight event ever because Chimaev has been after that title for a good time now. And taking down a former champ may just be his one shot because honestly, I don't see any other fighter willing to take on Boers anytime soon. And Kamaru should have his fun while it lasts. Because like I said, Chimaev has plans that involve retiring Usman in a different way, as shortly after the Nigerian Nightmare's appearance on ESPN, Boers took it to Twitter, saying that someone needed to be poisoned into their retirement. Not only did this come off as an acceptance of Usman's challenge, but it also looked like Khamzat has something else brewing for the guy. But again, the original tweet was in Russian, so you can never be sure if it got misinterpreted in a bad translation. Plus, the fans surely had a good time with it. I mean, one of them talked about how Chimaev was already planning on slipping poison into his next opponent, Paulo Costa's secret juice, which certainly made everyone crack up. Now, fans were honestly just excited to see the two fighters going back and forth, but no one understands why Usman would want to do it to himself. I mean, if you can't already tell, cha-ching! This match could even be a pay-per-view event. That is if it happens. And on the chance it does, who's going to tell Khamzat to make weight properly this time? That's one of the main reasons Dana isn't quite on board with the whole Usman versus Chimaev thing. So, making this fight will take a whole lot of convincing, but Usman doesn't really care about that. He said he's ready to take Boers at any weight. The guy has dealt with middleweights, lightweights, you name it, so it shouldn't be a problem for him, right? Wrong. It's Khamzat who wants UFC gold at 170 pounds. But again, there's that question of, has he earned it though? But that's a debate for some other time. And whether or not this fight happens is a different story, as both the fighters kind of have more options. Look, the 170 weight class is kind of stacked. No one can deny that. Because currently the Chechen man is rumored to be going against Paulo Costa, somewhere around September 2023. Can't say I'm not excited because who doesn't love Chimaev absolutely bodying everyone? Whether it's picking them up mid-fight to talk to Dana or sometimes dancing on an opponent. You see, this guy is a gift that keeps on giving, and as much as I would love to see him go against Usman, I know for a fact that Dana doesn't want it, and it'll be tricky for Chimaev to make it happen, even more so to make weight, because the last time, that thing caused a lot of last-minute trouble for the UFC, and obviously you know what happened to Kevin Holland. I can't help but think problems like these might persist if the Khamzat decides to stay at welterweight. So that's why Kamaru has other options lined up as well. It's pretty clear that he wants his title back. I mean, he has been a literal nightmare during his prime, only falling twice to Leon Edwards. This means Usman also has to prove his case at least before he gets a shot at another title. And obviously, as of now, even a Stephen Thompson versus Usman fight is more of a possibility. Because why not? The two have been on a collision course before, and although they have kept missing each other for quite a while now, Wonderboy may just make an exception for the former champ. You know who else might as well? None other than Conor McGregor. The Nigerian Nightmare has also put his name in the running to challenge the Irishman for the welterweight belt once he returns to the cage in 2023. And if Conor beats Chandler and Dana does his magic, maybe the fans will get a money fight with Usman and McGregor in the future. Let's be honest, guys. They both need it more than anyone. Maybe it's the redemption arc. But hey, no matter who it is at the end of the day, Usman just wants to retake his crown. The guy has literally ran through the whole of the welterweight division. And I know what you're thinking. Believe me, no one even thought Edwards would stand a chance. But it's UFC. You never see it coming. So even with so much denial, Dana may just make the Khamzat fight happen. Because frankly, majority of the fans are sick and tired of Usman just butchering people left and right, making such a stacked weight class look like babies. And yeah, we all know Usman called Chimaev out, just so Dana would stick him in a fourth fight with Edwards. I hate to break it to you, Usman, but man, No way anyone's watching that again. Also, because he can't really ask for it now, can he? And don't get me wrong, the rivalry is far from over, but you've got to wait it out as Adesanya did. I should mention that even with all this drama, Usman is doing well. In fact, he's just falling in love with the sport all over again. The Nigerian Nightmare spoke with fans about how life is going now that he has lost his championship, and boy, is he happy he's going to get to claim his status again. He also added that since he no longer has the responsibilities and commitments he did while he was in possession of the UFC title, life has been a lot simpler for him. He said that being a champion left him no time for things he liked doing. But now he's getting to be with his family, and who doesn't love that? And of course, this doesn't imply that he has no interest in winning. It only means he's back on the path that made him so good all these past few years. But this is where a few fans disagree. You know, with the whole Chimaev call-out scene. A big number of Boris's supporters accused Kamaru of dodging Khamzat when he held the title, saying that he knew how humiliating it was going to be. But you know what the funny part is? Remember the Chimaev tweet I mentioned earlier in the video? Well, it's just in that he misspelled a word and the whole translation got messed up. See, I told you, what he actually meant to write was to send and not to poison Usman into retirement, because even I was super confused when I hit the translate button. I remember telling myself, my guy, that's a pretty major crime. But it's alright, you do you, Boris. Now let's come to the elephant in the room. There is very little chance that these two will square off in the octagon, given Khamzat's been wanting to move up to middleweight. And the UFC president truly doesn't want to see the Boers weigh 170 pounds again, and who can blame him? Chimaev definitely can't cut weight, so why even take a chance? Plus, as I said, Khamzat and Costa are also frequently mentioned in connection with a UFC 294 matchup in Abu Dhabi. And with how Costa and Chimaev have also engaged in a lot of friendly banter, indicating that they are both keen to see it through. If this bout goes through, the Chechen would be making his middleweight debut, exactly where Dana wants him to be. It works for everyone, as Chimaev already finds it challenging to cut. On top of that, Khamzat is a big guy who would fit in quite nicely, making 185 his sweet spot. Other than that, Dana also made sure he expressed that for Usman and Khamzat, catchweight was not even on the table, because to him, fighting at catchweight was straight up useless, as nobody gains any ground in the long run. Dana informed Usman that if the former champion is ready to go up to middleweight, they may discuss a matchup. But the Nigerian Nightmare hasn't responded to that one yet, and based on how his reputation goes, it doesn't seem like he will anytime soon. Since Kamaru has spent his whole fighting career at 170 pounds, I doubt he'll want to move up. Not just that, there is the Israel Adesanya issue. Usman won't want to step on his friend's toes, therefore the call for Khamzat is likely to be ineffective. Although Dana's requirements appear a touch stiff, they are quite reasonable. He definitely wants to avoid keeping the Chechen at 170 since he doesn't see any future for him there. Chimaev would move up, giving Izzy a new opponent as he has already beaten all of the top competitors in the division. Anyway, from Dana being Dana, keeping everything flowing, to the Nigerian Nightmare wanting to have at it with the undefeated Swedish Wolf, here was how Khamzat Chimaev responded to Kamaru Usman's call out.